Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamiti Namane Namacharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagaragramatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lange Tegirim Yat Kripata Maham Vande Shri Gurundinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So, amongst our busy schedules, excessive distractions, compelling thoughts, we have this opportunity to spend about 40 minutes, 45 minutes in drinking the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. So, this is a very beautiful opportunity where we are directly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, through his speech, through his song, which is the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm making this very humble attempt to read this sloka for today, which is 4.11. Very interesting sloka, and a sloka which is very, very instructive. So generally they say, there's all of you must have come across this saying in English: God helps those who helps themselves. So Lord Krishna describes before this that he is not partial to anybody. Lord Krishna is not partial to anybody. Even in school, if you remember as children, we had problems with partiality. Oh, that teacher is partial to this child and not to me. And then when we grow up in friends circle, we see one friend may be partial to another friend. Then we may see as we grow up in life, in our companies, bosses may be partial to somebody else and not us. So like this, there is lot of partiality and inequality, but Lord Krishna boldly declares that he has no partiality. How do we understand this? When it is raining, it rains everywhere. When there is sunshine, the sun shines in the same on the same land equally. It shines on top of a horse, it shines on top of the grass, it shines on top of the dog, it shines on top of you and me, it shines on top of a house. So everything is given equally to everybody by Krishna. Krishna doesn't choose, I will give Nandapriya air and I will not give somebody else air. He gives everybody air to breathe, oxygen to breathe. He gives everybody water to drink. And according to how we make our own circumstances, we reap the benefits, right? So, most likely, this can be understood even in the case of parents and children. So, when it comes to parents, parents are always looking forward mostly to give the same treatment to each child. But then the child that listens more is definitely not favored, but actually benefits more from the parent. Maybe by the parents' association. A child who listens more and who wants to stay more with the parent gets more of the parent versus a child who doesn't want to obey and go away. So, with this, let us get into today's verse. Just 1 second. Okay, so thank you for your patience. Bhagavad Gita 4.11. Ye yata mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. ये यता मां प्रपद्यन्ते तमस्ततैव भजाम्यहं ममा वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः ये यता मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्ततैव भजाम्यहं ममा वर्त्माम् अनुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. Yea, all who, yata, as, mam, unto me, prapadyante, surrender, tan, them, tata, so, eva, cha, bhajami, reward, aham, I, mama, my, vartma, pat, anuvartante, follow, manusya, all men, partha, O son of Pritha, sarvashaha, in all respects. Translation. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So, if we all remember, Lord Krishna also tells Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, because you are my devotee and not envious of me, I will reveal myself to you. So, although the Lord is not partial, although the Lord provides everybody everything equally, one who is surrendered to him, he gives himself more. Like I was giving the example of a parent. A parent may give more of his association and himself to a child who comes to the parent more. So here, although Krishna may give all facilities, he gives himself according to what one expects out of him. So it's very simple. As much as we want Krishna, Krishna rewards us accordingly. As much as we want something else, Krishna will reward us accordingly. So, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So, this whole concept of surrendering unto Krishna as much as we want is what is called as free will. Each of us have a lot of free will with us. What we want to do, whom we want to associate with, what we want to watch, what we want to eat. Every bit of it has free will. So at every minute, we have a choice to surrender to Krishna, and Krishna will be immediately available. And at every minute, we have the choice not to associate with Krishna and thereby not choosing Krishna's personal grace. So let's get into the purport. Can somebody please volunteer to read? Purport, can somebody read, please?
I will read Mataji.
Yes.
Everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestation. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahma Jyotir, effulgence, and as all pervading super soul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world, also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One one devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the
Okay.
material
Yeah. So, can you explain what you've read? Especially this everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestation. How do you understand this? And can you explain this, please? Whatever you feel.
we are all searching for Krishna, like in our own thoughts. Like one wants us to be his brother or his lover or even son, um, because he is associated with everyone. He is a super soul and he is associated with everyone. Uh,
Yeah. I'm listening. Please tell me.
yeah, so because he's a super soul and he's associated in everyone, we think of him in different relations, like I said before, like a son or as brother or a lover or a friend. Yeah, Mataji.
Right. So, do we look at Krishna differently, each of us here? Like, how do you look at Krishna, Mataji?
I look him as a brother.
As a brother. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Uh, in what capacity? Like you pray to him as a brother, or you feel no, I go and tell all my problems to him, or how is it?
Yes, I saw him as a brother. I actually watched Mahabharatam, and
Okay.
from that, like when I was studying ninth standard, I think so. From that itself, I don't know. Everyone tends to see him as a lover only, but don't know why I saw him as a brother. So
Okay.
from that itself, I used to like talk to him like as a brother sister only. So I don't know the exact reason of why I see him as a brother, but. Sometimes as a friend also, but first I saw him as a brother only, then as a guru. After coming to know about sorry, this Bhagavad Gita, everything, I see him as a guru also.
Nice. Very nice. So, just one person, thank you for your explanation. So, just one person here looks at Krishna as a brother, as a friend, and also as a guru. So, obviously, Krishna sitting as super soul within your heart is reciprocating accordingly. So the more we look at Krishna as a guru, the more he is going to teach us. The more we look at him as a supreme personality of Godhead, the more he is going to favor us. I mean, in that reverential attitude. The more you look at him as his friend, he is going to continuously be your personal friend, as Srila Prabhupada explains. Apart from this, it also contains some technical aspects here, which is very commonly described in ISKCON, where Prabhupada talks about different types of God realization. So, one is the impersonal Brahma Jyotir realization, which means basically The Lord has his body, and then from him comes the effulgence or the light. So that is called as Brahman realization. So that is one way of realizing Krishna. So if you see many people, they say, oh, God is light, or after my death, I want to merge with God. So these are the people who only want to see the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. So Krishna says, according to this sloka, if somebody wants to see me only as impersonal Brahma Jyotir, fine, I will be available to them. And then the next level is the Paramatma realization. I'm sure most of you here already know this, but because this verse is dealing with it, I'm repeating myself. I'm repeating this. So then we have the Paramatma realization. So the Lord not only has his effulgence, but he is individually seated in each of us as Paramatma. So that is the Paramatma realization. And then it is the Bhagavan realization. That is the Supreme Lord in his Satchitananda Vigraha form, where he has an entire form, and that is called as the Bhagavan realization. Srila Prabhupada also compares this to the sun in terms of the effulgence which comes from the sun, which is the Brahma Jyotir, and the sun disk, which is the sun globe itself, the sun planet itself, which is the Paramatma realization, and the sun god who's sitting inside, who's compared to the Bhagavan realization. So the Lord is also telling us that, my dear devotees, if you want to look at me as a supremely beautiful three bend form, holding a flute and always reciprocating with you, then I am available in the Bhagavan realization. If you want to think of me only within your heart as a specific Paramatma, please go ahead and do that. And then, if you don't want this also and you want only my Brahman effulgence, then you can do that. But of course, it would be most intelligent to choose the Lord in his all completeness, which is the Bhagavan realization. So, one thing we saw is that how Krishna as a supreme lord, and he manifests himself in different ways according to our desires. So we may look at the Lord in a particular way, and each of us may have our own personal way of reciprocating with Krishna, and Krishna kindly reciprocates in such a way. And apart from that, we also learned the technical details of what are the three ways of realizing Krishna. So what is the use of knowing this? So maybe before coming to ISKCON, we may be a little confused that, yeah, okay, after death, I'm going to go merge with the Lord. So by this information, we understand no, we can never become one with the Lord. We don't want to become one with the Lord. We always want to remain subservient of the Bhagavan feature and serve him in the eternal kingdom, right? So, in this small thing of personal friend, I would like to add that Krishna has millions of friends, not just one or two, millions of friends, even in the spiritual world, and each of them maintain their individuality. So, each of us are individuals. We all have our own ways of doing things. Why should we merge with the Lord? With our individuality maintained, we will worship the Lord in his Bhagavan feature. This is a very important line here. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. So it's very important that here we are talking about love. So, our movement, Prabhupada explains, is that of emotion and also knowledge and intelligence. So, we need Shastric knowledge, and at the same time, we need emotion. Emotion is love. How intense is our love? And Srila Prabhupada describes that love can be translated as service. When you actually love somebody, you do things for them. That is what we call, right? Love language. Somebody's love language may be to feed somebody. Somebody's love language may be to give them a gift. Somebody's love language may be to give them proper clothes to wear, whatever. So there are different ways of expressing love. and love is generally an act of service. So, how can we evaluate ourselves? You both. So, we can identify how intense our love for Krishna depending on our desire to do service for Him. Contrarily, if we are not doing enough service for the Lord, if we increase our service doing, our chanting, etc., our love for Him will also increase. So, here we are talking about how we can express ourselves to Krishna, and accordingly, Krishna will reward us with Himself. So, it's very important for us to evaluate the intensity of our love for Him, and that we can identify by our tendencies to be of service to the Lord, right? And by service to the Lord, we can develop affection for the Lord, right? So, can you continue to read somebody else from this,
Krishna Mataji.
please? Yeah, Hare Krishna.
In the material world, the same reciprocations of feeling are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with the different types of worshippers. The pure devotee, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with Him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord and thus derive transcendental bliss in loving service. As for those who are impersonalist and who want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by observing him into his effulgence. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them, who are not firmly situated even in the impersonal existence, return to this material field to exhibit their dormant service for activities, desires for activities. They are not admitted into the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets.
Okay, we'll stop here. Can you explain, please?
Uh, Mataji, here, Srila Prabhupada is just explaining about the, as you were just mentioning about the three realizations. So one of the point which I was that impersonalist, how much ever if they wanted to, they say that Brahman effulgence is more than enough, they have to come back again because there is no service out there. So they have to come back to the material world, and again they have to perform the same activities and go back to they have to go back.
Right. So that is a disadvantage of being an impersonalist, correct?
Yes, Mataji. We have to go back again and we have to come back, come down again and then perform the activities. Yes.
Right. And Srila Prabhupada uses this very important word. He says, having extinguished their individuality. So we see all of us are strongly individualistic. We have our own wishes, our needs, our ways of doing things and expressing things. And imagine extinguishing or not having individuality. So, in Brahman effulgence, although we may go in search of peace, we may actually not experience it for a long time because our individual nature, which is always active, full of bliss, and full of knowledge, will come out because we are Satchit Ananda, right? So, because we are expected to derive transcendental bliss, how will an impersonalist remain an impersonal Brahman? And then we were also talking, like you were talking about, how we have to do service to the Lord. What is the point of doing service to the Lord? Prabhupada is explaining very clearly that we will derive transcendental bliss. See, it is very important for us to understand that in this material world, there is no happiness. If we are actually searching for happiness, we are cheating ourselves. There may be a lack of unhappiness for some time, which we may perceive as happiness. Most sometimes, if we're not having a problem for a long time, somebody may think, "Ayyo, romba nala problem illiye. I don't have a problem. I hope something big is not going to come and fall on my head." So there's like, recently you would have seen that such a big country, like America, suddenly went and arrested a president of a country from his own bedroom in the night. Right? So, what does a president of a country enjoy? A president of a country enjoys almost everything we can think of. Let us speak of good association, good place to stay, a great place to do everything possible, right? So they are in so much of, they're floating in opulence. But imagine a president of a country is being woken up at night very crudely and literally removed from his bedroom along with his wife, is arrested and is flown away to another country altogether. Right? So this is the status of all of us in this material world. And as Kali is progressing very fast, happiness is becoming something which is definitely not permanent. So actually it is not happiness. So what do need? We need bliss. We need transcendental bliss. And that is available to us only by. So that is why it is so important for us to connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if we are not able to connect with the Lord, if we are not going to do service in loving affection to Him, we are always going to feel miserable. Right? All right. So yes, definitely we don't want to become impersonalists. We don't want to miss the bus of this great opportunity of realizing the form of the Lord. We want to offer personal service to the Lord, and we want to derive transcendental bliss. And unfortunately, we also learned that impersonalists, they go to the Brahma Jyotir, but they fall down again. They come back to this material world. What is the use? What is the use of continuing our life in a not so happy planet? Right. So we'll go to the next one. For those, can somebody read, please? Otherwise, I'll be compelled to pick somebody. Maya, can you read, please? Maya, are you there? Okay, Alekia?
I'll read Mataji.
Yes.
For those who are fruitative workers, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yajneshwara. And those
Yagneshwara.
who Yagneshwara. And those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. Unless, therefore, one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect, as is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10.
Hare
Akama,
Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Maya.
Hare-
Yeah, Yeah, Mataji. Actually, I was in travel, Mataji, so I'm just hearing whatever you say.
No problem. Yeah. Yes, please read.
Akama Sharva Kamova Moksha Kama Udaradit Tiverna Bhakti Yogana Yagneta Purusham Param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desireless of fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness.
Right. So, can you explain what you read, please?
Mm. Can you show that screen once, Mataji?
Can you see it? Sorry.
Yeah, I can see it, but I'm not able to understand.
Okay. What do you mean by fruitive workers? I'm sorry, I'm moving from room to room. Actually,
Okay, Mataji, no problem.
my daughter had to use the washroom suddenly. So, that is why the confusion.
No problem, Mataji. I think
Yes.
fruitative workers mean one who expect results for their efforts, for their work.
Right. Right. So, what are fruitive workers given? If somebody is worshipping the Lord with a fruitive mentality, which means the Lord, I want something, I'm going to do this and I need this, please help me. Then the Lord awards desired results. So, what is He doing here? He is giving according to what one asks. Similarly, Prabhupada is saying that if one is a yogi and if they are seeking mystic powers, then they get that. So, whatever we ask from the Lord, that is what the Lord gives. That's why we should be very careful. That's why we should know what is impersonal liberation, what is fruitive workers, what is a mystic yogi. If we know these details, then we know no, no, no. My goal is actually Bhagavan realization. My goal is actually to worship the form of the Lord. My goal is actually to be a servant of the Lord. So, if these things are very clear, we know the entire Vedic knowledge. It is amazing that Srila Prabhupada has made all these very, very difficult concepts of Vedic knowledge so easily understandable and accessible for simple people like us. Right? So again, Prabhupada is explaining here that if somebody wants impersonal liberation, they get it. If somebody is a fruitive worker, they get that. If somebody is an Ashtanga yogi or a mystic yogi, they get that. But ultimately, one thing is very clear. Everybody is depending for success, knowingly or unknowingly, on the mercy of the Lord. And any spiritual process ultimately needs the sanction and the mercy of the Lord. So, what is the Srimad Bhagavatam saying? That no matter what it is, whether one is without desire, which means if one is a devotee, or one is desiring all fruitive activities, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for perfect completion, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So it's very important for us to understand that no matter what we want, we should go to the Lord. Next, if we know our goals clearly, then we realize no, 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 I want only bhakti. So there was a 3-year-old child that came to my house, and her mother was telling her, no, pray to Krishna. And then she said, yes, I will pray to Krishna. Enakku Krishna Bhakti Venum. So that is the prayer that we should be doing as devotees. That we ask the Lord specifically for devotion, right? We ask the Lord for devotion. We ask the Lord for Vaishnava Seva. We ask the Lord for Namera Ruchi and nothing else. Jiveru Doya, right? Compassion for all living entities. These are our prayers. Our prayers have to be, my dear Lord, please let me get Krishna consciousness. Please increase my intensity of love for you. How do we increase the intensity? How do we show that we intensely love somebody? By performing acts of service. So, the more service we perform, the more we show our intensity of love to Krishna. The more we show our love to Krishna, Krishna knows that we are more surrendered. And what is the benefit of all of this? We can experience transcendental bliss. Otherwise, we're only experiencing a mirage. We're walking in a desert. There is no water. We're feeling so parched. There is so much of difficulty. There's scorching heat around us. We're almost dying. And then there's a mirage. It looks like water. We try and go and get a little bit of water, and there's no water. That is our condition. At every step, we find difficulties, there is danger. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but more or less, life is like this. But when we are following the path of Krishna consciousness, when we have Krishna in our lives, life tends to be more blissful. And even amongst problems, we realize that no, I'm not happy because I'm not serving the Lord. I'm not happy because I'm not serving the Lord, maybe with affection. I'm not happy because I'm always distracted. And the Lord is at every minute giving me only what I am asking for. So, my dear devotees, all of us have to very deeply ask Krishna for his presence in our life. And when we do that, we are completely, satisfied. And if we don't do that, then we will only get little of the Lord. And that is not so intelligent of us, right? So, if we see, there are countless devotees who have wanted the Lord in specific ways. If we see the story of Dhruva Maharaj, so Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy. He was just 5 year old. He was very upset with what his stepmother said, that he was not able to get even a small position of sitting on his father's lap. So he got very upset that he could not sit on his father's lap, and he went to the forest. When he went to the forest, Narada Muni said, forget about it, go back home. Don't look at all of this prestige and all that. Just go home and your father will take care of you. He said, no, I want a kingdom better than my father's, better than my grandfather's. I want to become very powerful. I am a Kshatriya. Narada Muni, or asking me to act like a Brahmana. I don't want to do that. So the Narada Muni gives him the mantra, he gives him the way. With great determination, Dhruva Maharaj stands and he finally sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he sees the Lord, he says, oh my dear Keshava, oh Vasudeva, you look so beautiful. It is so blissful to be in your presence. I am feeling extremely elated. What have I done? I have asked for pieces of glass. I have asked for pieces of glass, which is the kingdom. But now I can see that just being in your presence, I'm feeling so happy. I should have asked for you instead, my dear Lord. I don't want anything else. So that was Dhruva Maharaj's realization. Of course, Dhruva Maharaj got what he wanted. He got even more than what he wanted. And he also got the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the most intelligent way would be is, as much as we surrender, the better it is for us. And at every minute, like I said, we have the choice to surrender to the Lord or not surrender to Him. So if we all take advantage of every minute, of every 10 minutes, of every 15 minutes, of every half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 10 hours, 24 hours, the more likely we are going to attain the Lord. Just opposite to my house, there's a devotee Prabhu who stays. He is about 60 now, and very mild devotee when it comes to, actually pushing himself or putting himself out there or doing service. Otherwise, he was in a very big position in a company in IBM, traveling all around the world and all of that. But here he's just trying to do as much as possible, not really projecting himself. And one fine day, he just became unconscious and completely not responsive. This was about 2 weeks ago. And they realized there's something serious going on, some brain involvement, and Prabhuji was not responding. So his wife was very concerned. They put him in the hospital here. Then after 3 days, they transferred him to Kolkata Neurosciences Hospital. It was a severe brain infection, and he was completely unconscious. So the first day when he was a little conscious and unconscious, the only thing he was saying was Hare Krishna. He was chanting Krishna's holy names, although he was completely zip zap zoom gone. And for 3 days after the first day, he remained completely unconscious. There was, except breath, nothing else that was going on. And the minute, he came back was when actually Guru Maharaj prayed for him. And the minute he came back, the first thing again he said was Hare Krishna. So, this is what is kind of perfection, that even in that unconscious state, he's only thinking about the Lord. So, are we ready? This is a question each of us have to ask, because death can knock our door anytime. So, are we ready? If we are unconscious, if our intelligence is not working anymore, what are we going to tell? What are we going to talk about? The latest series that we saw, or the latest friend who betrayed us, or the boyfriend that was to be ours and not ours, or the position in office that we missed, or the lack of increment in salary that we didn't get, or is it going to be Krishna? So, as far as I have seen this Prabhu, he's as Krishna conscious as possible, one can be. And he explicitly showed that in his consciousness just 2 weeks back. After 2 weeks of intense medication and therapy, he's finally back in Mayapur, and he's alive today. And he's still waiting to continue service 10 times more than what he was going to do. So I think this is a very personal journey, and Krishna within our hearts knows how much of him we want and how much of him we don't want. So the more we choose him, the better it is for us. The more we understand his personal feature, the better it is for us. The more we develop a personal relation, we are always hankering to develop relationships with people. We always want to be satisfied by the warmth and love and affection of people, devotees, relatives, etc. etc. But if we can put that effort in trying to develop our relationship, affection, and service for Krishna, then we will be deeply benefited by transcendental bliss. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, I want to understand this. Everyone follows my path in all respects.
Right. So basically, the Lord is who is the provider, and ultimately, it is the Lord's sanction or the mercy. Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that is making everybody do everything. So that is what it means by everyone follows my path in all respects. So whether we are fully surrendered, half surrendered, whether we are looking for impersonal liberation or whether we are looking for Paramatma realization, whatever it is, ultimately everybody only follows the Lord because it is His mercy that everybody depends on.
Okay. Haan. understand.
Yeah. Any other question?
Mataji, I have a doubt.
Yes. Yes,
You
Elati.
said, you said like we should always pray for Krishna's bhakti, but
Yes.
anyhow we are in this materialistic world and we will have some desire rights, Mataji. So we should
Correct.
not pray to Krishna for those materialistic desires like getting a new job or getting some promotion or something that we really need to survive in this material world. Or we should not pray to Krishna to want that, or how, Mataji?
See, it's important. We cannot be artificial first. And ultimately, we can only ask Krishna.
Yes.
So if it is required that we ask Krishna, then we can. But we can add this if you so desire Krishna.
Okay.
So at least we're leaving it up to him. But definitely a more better prayer would be, please give us yourself, please give us bhakti. So that is what we pray for when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We are asking for devotional service, we are asking for the Lord Himself. So at least when we chant, if we can maintain that consciousness, and if it is really required that we ask the Lord something, we can, but we can at least add if you so desire.
Here, Mataji. Understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody wants to share any takeaway from today's class? Anything that you will take away from today's class? Discussion, rather.
I understood that I have to increase my Krishna's love more hereafter. I always pray like his love only, but today's class I even understood that more than materialistic desires, I have to ask his love more. This is my takeaway from this class, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Yes,
you for
Hare
such a
Krishna.
wonderful session, Mataji. It was
Thank you.
very
All
much.
glories to Prabhupada. Yes.
Mataji, one thing which I just like is like which you just mentioned that our movement is like not just emotional, it is also with knowledge. So emotion adds with love. That is love how we will show because we like most of us we will be saying that I do love. But where is an action? So action has not been added. We just say by word that I love Krishna, I want to do, but no actions are there. So with that, if the more services which has been added to that love, and then by the intelligence we have to love because that makes us to survive more and then do for a longer time. Because when we lack the knowledge, just maybe for that particular moment, we will just stick on to it, and then later on we'll just forget or we'll just fall down. So when we have
Right.
knowledge, we'll start implementing. At least when we are trying to fall down, at that time we will use this knowledge and then flourish
Right.
back.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So we will all accumulate more knowledge about Krishna. And then we'll be infected with Krishna.
Yes, Madhu, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Any
Hare Krishna.
takeaways? Yes,
Hare Krishna
Sivaranjan.
Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, today's class is so wonderful, and I was listening all my way. I was going to reach my home now, and thank you for taking this class, Mataji. So
Thank
here
you.
today, I understand that if we are asking from material world, or we are asking Krishna, also means we should think that he was the first choice and he is the last choice. We don't have any other person to ask anything also. So
Beautiful.
whatever if we want in material world, it is important also means we should say him because he is the only person who can do everything within seconds. So we should ask everything to him only. And every day, like our love is getting increased for Krishna. So it is not uh, every day we have to keep on increasing, and every day it's we are better than yesterday, and we are going to better tomorrow, like that. So that was the learning today I got. So
Jai.
we have to keep on chanting so that yeah, today at 0.001% I did more. love to Krishna than yesterday. So that was the learning today I got from you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
Of course.
Krishna.
Thank you. All glories to Prabhupada. So we keep improving our Krishna conscious quotient by chanting more, by doing everything more. And also, this thing you said very nicely, that first and last choice, no other choice, only choice is Sri Krishna. All right. So I think, shall we call it a day now, or anybody wants to share anything else? I think all of us have. Okay. Good night, everybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I'm canceling the meeting.